Hello and welcome to Setlist. My name is Davey. To my right, I have Alexa. We are really excited for this episode of Artists IRL. We have the pleasure of interviewing a band. Again, we just got to do our episode of Mic Check with them. So if you saw the stream, thank you guys for turning out. And this will be our last episode for the year of 2025. So very exciting, excited for that, to jump into 2026, and excited to see, all the stuff we have planned for that. But for today, again, very excited. We have the pleasure of interviewing Visalia band, Chemical Syndicate. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man.
Good. Yeah, that was
Pretty
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. So we just did our stream with you guys. Have you guys had a lot of opportunities to perform live, either on stage or on stream?
Live, yeah, a lot. We play all over the place. The last few years, we have at least like 2 shows a month. Is usually we try to do to keep the momentum going. I feel like it's like a live practice sometimes. A lot of shows we don't get paid for. We just do it like for free, just to get the name out there. But they lead to other shows and paying shows sometimes too. So
yeah,
and I mean, leads to here.
Yeah,
we're on the show today.
Super.
We've never done a stream though.
We never did a live stream.
I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had people like live stream us on their Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. So that way,
Caesar has.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. I was kind of curious because you don't have the live feedback of an audience. Is that a little different? Or
It is weird. Just there's emptiness.
Yeah, because you're just playing
But it's
the
cool seeing your guys' faces and stuff, reacting and stuff. So that's encouraging, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is weird playing to nothing, having the cap.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like Zoom days, pandemic days a little bit, all over again. But no, it was really cool. I know I feel like we had do you know if we had a couple viewers hop on too, or?
Yeah, we had about 7 to 10.
That's really
My
cool.
girlfriend watched it, and his girlfriend watched it.
That's super dope. Yeah, I always think about that too, because we were just talking that you're the 4th episode that we got on the stream, and I never thought of oh yeah, there's nobody reacting, there's no crowd, that's got to be kind of weird.
It is a little weird. It feels it's a different kind of vibe, but you feel kind of that's just what other bands go through when they're doing videos or
Yeah.
doing their live streams too. So
Yeah.
it feels like a good step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's really cool because it feels like a little intimate session too, even for the people that are on cameras and us in the control room too. Just feels like a kind of a private concert too. And I try to clap a little in the background and have a little support. But
No, that helps. Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so fun. I'm usually in the control room, so I'm always listening, but I feel I'm always reacting, especially today. We got a lot of shots of the violin, and
He's awesome.
Yeah,
I wish
He couldn't stay, but he was a great musician.
Yeah.
He always adds such a good flavor to the song.
yeah. No, it's
It's
a
a
really
special
nice
seasoning.
Yeah, no, it's always so nice. We kept cutting to him, and then in everybody's ears, I'm always just hell yeah. It's so fun. I love.
That's Wayne Powell that we're talking about. He's great, man.
Part of the art collective.
Yeah. He plays in all the bands basically.
Oh,
in the
really?
Collective, yeah.
That's sick.
He'll just kind of sit in.
He'll play for a lot of bands that aren't in the collective too.
Yeah, that's true.
But mainly most of them. Yeah, I guess they're all pretty
really
much the collective now.
Yeah, just love the sport. That's fire.
Do you guys talk? I know you guys talked about the different bands that you guys were into, but can you guys kind of break it down to how you guys are connected in a way, and how the other bands kind of merge together too?
So he actually plays bass for my band, and I guess
Yeah, and Mackenzie plays drums too.
for my band as well.
And
yeah.
Wayne plays violin.
And
Tony plays
Tony
bongos.
plays bongos and congas. Tony bongos.
Yeah, shout out to Tony. But yeah, so we have his project, and then we have one called Seb's Happy Trees, which Mackenzie started drumming for them too a while back, and then Wayne just jumped on with them too, and so did Tony. And now I play keyboards for them. So that's another band that kind of came out of this, and that's more of a reggae kind of vibe. They do a lot of covers.
Super cool band.
Yeah, they're super cool. Sebastian Faith, shout out. And then we have Caesar's Blues Trip, which is kind of just mainly blues. But that one came along too because he didn't really fit my band, so I was
He's one of the guitarists that he talked about earlier.
we're they're doing too much, and I'm you know what, man, we gotta dial it back. Like he was good for like a couple songs, but like when he tries to do the whole set, it just wasn't working out. So I was like, you know what, let's start your own thing and something that you like to do, which is blues, and like that's his like passion, you know, like he loves going back to those blues riffs. So we started that band, and then it just kind of fell together because it was just like whoever was at the show would just jump on his set. So it's like all these musicians that were just part of these other bands.
Yeah.
And now we formed his band. And then one day I realized, I'm like, wow, we actually have something pretty good here. I watched one of the videos that Wayne filmed at Three Rivers in what's that one?
The Riverview Bar and Grill.
Yeah, we played there, and I noticed a set that we played with Caesar, which was kind of just improvised at the time. And I was like, wow, we actually have something pretty solid there. So now we kind of started like doing more of that, and it's kind of built pretty good like in the last year.
It's cool because his band is the one that he was talking about, that it's always different band members because it's whoever's at the shows fills in.
Like sometimes I'll play drums for it, I'll play bass sometimes, or
They just
keyboard.
rotate.
It just depends who's there. Yeah, sometimes we'll rotate. Like me and Sebastian from the Seb's Happy Trees, he'll play drums or bass or keyboard sometimes. He'll jump on guitar sometimes. Mackenzie will jump on drums sometimes. Or we have this other guy named Paul who's in Pumaguchi, and he'll jump on drums or bass too. So it's just like we'll just kind of rotate, shuffle around the musicians, and it's always a cool like vibe. It kind of makes it makes it cool because it's like a little different because it's different musicians playing the different instruments, but it's all still like based on the blues, so it fits the whole thing. And we're all like, I don't know, I don't want to like toot our own horns, but we're all pretty good musicians, so we know how to vibe with each other, and now it's gotten like grown pretty good. Like,
Yeah, I feel like that kind of makes like a very good like band and also musician is like how well you can kind of like have chemistry with your other bandmates too, and also like just improv too. Like it doesn't really have to be anything like set in stone. It could just be like whatever you guys are playing while you're rehearsing, anything like that. But is that kind of like how rehearsal goes too? Like you guys play a lot of hats and
yeah, I mean, rehearsals usually, like, I mainly write the music in Chemical Syndicate, like, I'm the main songwriter, so I'll go in and I'll have an idea, and then I'll show them kind of what my idea is, and we'll go over some stuff, you know, and figure out, like, certain parts. If, like, I'm like, okay, I keep that part, you know what I mean, or add this here, or, you know, sometimes, like, take this part out, or whatever. Mackenzie's even helped, like, transform some of the songs, like, Turn Around that we played today.
yeah.
He came up with, like, the stop. The first stop, he's like, hey, we should just stop there, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it out to see if it works. And I was like, okay, let's keep it, and then like kind of adjust to the song. So it works like that sometimes. A lot of it's improv though, like especially live, like with Wayne's never played the same thing twice. He just knows where to be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that vibe, you know. He doesn't really like to record because of that, because he's just like wants to be more free about that.
Which is funny because he records every live show we have with his camera. So he'll do that, but he won't get in a studio and sit down and
And
like,
try to lay down a
overdub
track,
or play to a
or
track.
try to learn a certain line
He has to
of
do
a
it
song,
live
you
and
know.
in the moment.
He wants to do like his version of it, you know,
Which is
which is
cool.
kind of how I am too.
It's ever
sometimes
changing.
Sometimes then like in our set too, we have songs where like they're like structured out, and this is how the song goes, and then we have songs where like we have parts where we can jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or extend it, and then I'll just cue them when we're going to change and things like that. Something that goes like kind of like we have parts where like we're free to kind of mess around and try things, and then we have parts where okay, this is where we have to be solid, you know,
Okay.
to kind of get back into the song.
Okay.
Yeah. Did it take time to kind of like develop that flexibility, or did it kind of just click?
I think it's just the chemistry of the musicians that we have now because we've played together for as much as we have. I think that made it easier to just
all the musicians that like kind of came into the whole thing, because like we've been playing for a minute, and like it took me a while to start playing keyboards for like Sebastian and some of these other bands. Like first I was just kind of like just doing my thing, and then like they were kind of, but then like they're like, hey, why don't you jump on keys? So I'm like, all right, let's check it out and see what we can do. So now it's more like that. Like now we're all kind of playing for each other and jumping on. And then every time we play too, there's other people who come by or they want to jump on, and then they join the collective. And they're like, yeah, I'm part of it now. Like my friend Paul from the Secret Chiefs. He's a Hanford band. There's a lot of bands in Hanford that we know, but he's one of those guys who came to like that Amoeba thing that Wayne was talking about, the Fresno. He came out, and it was me, Wayne, Tony bongos, Mackenzie on drums, and John from No Voodoo, and we were just kind of all jamming together. And John Lacey, from like John Lacey's in the bands with Wayne. John Lacey has his own band called Greasy Dashiki, and they play at the Porch Fest too. But he's an amazing musician too.
yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so shout out to John, both Johns. John
Glassby.
Glaspie's freaking awesome too. He's a great musician, like all around. So we just started teaming up with all these people, and they started saying like, you know what, we want to join your collective. Like, it's cool. It's like, we like the vibe. We all play with each other when we need to. Sometimes like we'll fill in, like we said, like, oh, we need a backup person, or can you play keys for me this day or whatever. It's like, all right. So you always have kind of like a musician around that can like fill the slot if you need, if someone's not available. You know, a lot of people have stuff going on. So, and it works out, and it's cool because whenever we got shows lined up sometimes too, like if one of the bands can't make it, then there's always another band that could and can fill the slot. And so it keeps it all kind of momentum going.
What does it take to like organize between every member of the collective? Is it kind of like, let's say you have a show and you need either a band or somebody to fill? Is it like a big, you know, group chat, or do you just have a list of people and it's like, hey,
No, we have a giant group chat. It's like 14 people.
It's annoying sometimes, man.
It's annoying, yeah, because it's like everybody's like,
You gotta
like
do
it's
it.
funny because like Sebastian is not in the group chat because he doesn't want to be in it, but Faith is, which is his girlfriend, you know, and she plays bass for the band, for his band. So she's the one like checking in with us, you know, because like he doesn't want to like, and sometimes it's just like bah, 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 bah.
I've been guilty of it too,
Like
though.
someone
Like
behind your
sending too many
message. It's
messages.
like all
Yeah, or you go like you go like somewhere and leave your phone somewhere. You come back to your phone, there's like 30 messages.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
It's
You
excessive.
start going through it. Like, I don't have time for all this. So sometimes like people are like, "Didn't you see that message on the group chat?" They're like, "No," because I didn't go through everything. But sometimes it's like it's still cool though, because it's if we all feel connected, you know. And like I said, one of our friends moved to South Carolina, but he's still in the group chat. So
Yeah, he'll respond whenever we're getting together. He'll like, yeah. What did he send the other day? He sent his location. He's like, come pick me up. He's in North Carolina.
East Coast vibes.
Yeah.
But that's like one of our goals too, is to go to the East Coast, start playing out there. You know, like more shows out up and down California. Vegas would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, Arizona. I know some spots out there. I've been to the South by Southwest festival. You know,
Oh, yeah,
like I
that
played with like an old band I was in, like
Yeah.
back when I lived in LA.
Oh, cool.
And that was a really cool freaking vibe. The South by Southwest festival. It was just
Yeah.
like everything was blocked off. It was maybe like 2 miles, 3 miles of just every bar had bands, people playing on the street. You
That's
know, it's
really
just
cool.
crowds everywhere, just walking up and down. It was really fun. Like if you're a musician, you have to go down there.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that where you guys would tour if you guys wanted to?
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I think that's just definitely a goal. It's always in March, so we just have to figure out like
It's in
planning.
Austin, right?
And that's the thing too. That's what's hard. Like with the being in band, it's like it's easy to do like local shows because we're all like, you know, but everybody has jobs and other things and families, and so you know it's hard to get all the time together sometimes. So that's what's nice about having a collective, because it's like someone can't make it, you got somebody else. But it'd be nice to be able to like get something solid, like a solid tour going. If we found some sponsors.
Yeah, so you mentioned like your shows, and we were talking about Porch Fest, and you know, when it comes to local shows, do you feel like there is kind of a difference between like playing locally when it comes to like the vibe, or do you like playing local, or is it just a different kind of feeling?
I don't know. I think a lot of times it's the same. I mean, it depends on the crowds, but I mean, we played Pismo on the pier one time,
That was awesome.
and that was fun. That was more of the collective. That was just like people jumping in and out. You know what I mean?
Just
And-
playing different songs from every band,
Yeah, so it was
seeing
like
what people react to. It's fun.
it was a lot of fun. But it's like, yeah, people always vibe to it. I mean, we always get people like dancing, especially the Spanish stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of reggae, people dig that, you know. Like a lot of people like the blues band because, you know, especially around, you know, the Central Valley, everybody's into the blues and country. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys feel like the collective can hit like every genre after a while?
yeah, I mean, like even my band, I think Chemical Syndicate, we've got a good like, we play a little bit of everything, you
Yeah,
know.
you
So
jump around a lot. I noticed.
so we have like our reggae songs, we have Spanish rock, we got like, you know, alternative rock, like the harder stuff, some like mellower stuff too that we have, like piano stuff. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, like that's what's cool about the collective, because they each have their own, you know, genre to showboat.
Yeah.
What would you guys say is like the easiest and the most challenging like genre to like improvise in? Or is it kind of like a mix?
To improvise?
Yeah. So if you guys wanted to like ever just kind of like just jam, is there like a specific genre that kind of like makes it the easiest, or is it just any genre?
The easiest is probably the blues. The blues is pretty easy. I mean, It just depends on the song, I guess, and how many, like, because you can do a couple chord song, you know, and everybody can get it super quick. You know what I mean? That's how we play a lot of the stuff live when we do those, like,
I'd say like punk. Punk.
Yeah, that'd probably be the hardest to
punk's
improvise.
A lot more structured and stuff. With that kind of music, where you have like, there's a certain songwriting. So it depends on the song and the writing of it, and whether or not there's a lot of like stops, changes, that kind of thing. Whether it's pre-written into the song, whereas if somebody's playing that and the other musicians don't know that there's a change coming, it's hard to obviously follow that. So, but all of our music is fairly easy to follow between all the bands, especially for me as a drummer. For all the bands that I play with, a lot of the time I don't even know what I'm doing. Even for Chemical Syndicate, like I'm writing it kind of as I'm playing it, and it's all muscle memory. But if you tell me to play this song, I don't know what you're talking about. I need to hear the riff.
unless it's one
then
that
I
he
can
starts.
jump into it.
Unless he's one that he starts that he knows. So like knocking and
And
turning
I'm
around.
like, which one is this? Is it one hit or two hit? What is it?
Yeah, that's really interesting because I feel like I have a background in doing like drumming and percussion through college, and you know it's so interesting listening to you play because I don't get the vibe that you're kind of like just kind of coming up with what makes sense on the fly. It feels very like if you told me like that was pre-written, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense because everything you're doing makes sense in the moment. So it's so interesting to hear you say like, yeah, it's just kind of like what feels right. When it comes to your guys' like approach to like all of your music, do you feel like you all bring different like inspirations, or are your guys' music tastes all fairly similar?
I think everybody has like their own kind of where they go. I'm more a classic rock kind of. Grew up with like like I say like the Beatles and Pink Floyd, that kind of vibe. I like a lot of alternative rock, like Stone Temple Pilots and Beck. From that kind of like Tame Impala is one of my go-to bands now too because they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
I mean, everyone has their own kind of like little pocket of style of music that we kind of our default genre, but everyone's music kind of all like comes together in the center. We're like, yeah, we enjoy this band, so you have there is various inspirations and backgrounds from each of us, but at the core we all are on the same page and all understand the genres that we all play in.
I like a lot of Spanish rock, I like a lot of Spanish rock, and like I like cumbia. I like stuff like psychedelic cumbias from like the '60s. I like a lot of prog. I think that's kind of my go-to, kind of.
Yeah, right on.
What do you?
Just a lot of like grunge, a lot of heavy stuff, metal, prog. Yeah.
I'd say my main background in terms of genres, I like a lot of like orchestral and like classical style music. So that, and then like a lot of that and like symphonic metal, where it's big, large productions, female vocals, like a lot of really interesting, like epic songwriting type stuff is where I kind of start. But then it goes into the other genres, punk, grunge, and he's gotten me into a lot of Spanish stuff. I listen to a lot more classic rock stuff, The Doors from Pablo. So it's like we influence each other.
Do you guys, how would you guys describe like each of your guys' like musical backgrounds too? Did you guys all like kind of start performing the same instruments that you do now? Or when did you guys jump around?
So I started mainly, I guess, when I was super young, like on keyboard. And then on my 15th birthday, I got my first guitar. And then for my 16th birthday, I got my first bass. So that's kind of like the order that I started playing everything in. But then I was mainly playing bass for other bands like growing up. I was always like like a bass player because like everybody was playing guitar or drums. Like growing up, there was just like a drummer or a guitar player. So I was like, you know what? I'll start playing bass. We can start some bands or whatever. And then eventually I started writing my own music and started my own band. But
I started with keyboards, and I started with a keyboard at like 6 years old, and I couldn't really get the two-hand thing. So my brother had a guitar at the time, and I ended up just picking up his guitar and sticking with that. And I think I learned chords probably like at around 8. I learned like 3 chords, started writing songs with those chords, and then I got my first real guitar probably like acoustic guitar, and I learned how to play it and tune it properly. Maybe 11, and then I've just been playing ever since. Yeah.
I started playing bass when I was 17. Just dabbling around with it for the first year, and then like the next like 5 years, I had a teacher, and he taught me like basically like the scales and like the fretboard and notes, and taught me a bunch of different songs. And I dabble in a little bit of guitar and synthesizer, a little bit of drum machine too. But yeah, that's pretty much.
I started on keys back in like it was like second or third grade. No, yeah. I started on keys, and then I started doing like percussion stuff in like elementary school. So then I went from there to like the jazz band at Green Acres. And I did marching band, the jazz band, and the symphony band in middle school. And then when I got to high school, I did some of the symphony at COS. And then that was playing like timpani and like various orchestra percussion type stuff. And I was doing drum lessons as well for drum set type stuff. And then I did a little bit of acoustic for a semester. Guitar? Yeah, acoustic guitar. That it's not really my thing. And then I did a bunch of touring with like a gospel jazz group called the Celebrant Singers. And then that's kind of where things really started to kick off in terms of like playing actual drum set. That was probably the biggest leap forward in that direction. And then I did that for about 3 years. And then there was kind of a down period until I met Pablo and Nick and stuff. And then that's when I've started doing all the drum set type stuff. And I have a whole bunch of percussion instruments at my house for recording and stuff like that.
yeah, Mackenzie got all the recording stuff at his house too, so he started dabbling in that too. And that's the song that we have on Spotify. He's the one who recorded it.
Oh, really?
Oh, right on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. You're also giving us some feedback. We were trying to get the mix down for the stream, and like super appreciative. It's also like really interesting to like problem solve with other people. So I always really like working with others in that regard. You touched on it a little bit, but for your guys' like background and training, are you all like traditionally trained, or does like some of you guys self-taught in that regard? Self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had lessons, like piano lessons when I was younger and a little bit of guitar, but it's mainly like to learn the basic chords and stuff. But it was like, I'm mainly like learning more on my own, I guess. A lot of it too, you could just, nowadays, especially if you want to learn a song, like you can just go to YouTube
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they pretty much break it down for you. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I
I
just
spent a lot of time as a kid listening to songs and then like trying to find stuff note for note. And a lot of times it was like the bass line. And I think that definitely made me better at playing with other musicians because just it's almost like improvising to, well, you can improvise to stuff, and you know you have to really use your ear for that, like to find stuff by ear.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Do you feel like that approach, or like being trained and then self-taught, do you feel like they kind of reflect your guys' like approach to songwriting, or do you feel like they're pretty similar?
No, definitely. I think I try a lot weirder stuff than I think. Like some of my songwriting it can get pretty weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the structures are really strange sometimes, but I think that's also a product of the music I like. So that's, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think a lot of guys just influence. I mean, sometimes you're just messing around in the studio. You're like, oh, that sounds catchy, and then you just want to keep it, and that's how I figure a lot of songs out or write songs. You know, like yeah, like once in bed, which is funny because I started that when I wrote that song it was on keyboards, but now we don't even use a keyboard in it. Like when we play live, so that's how songs evolve too and change. But it's I mean, a lot of it's too from learning like cover songs. Like learning like from the bands you like and seeing the structures that they do and things like that. So I think like that does influence a lot of songwriting. Like I write chords or write progressions, how like a lot of like depends. I mean, that's the way I feel when I write music too. Like you were saying, how do I come up with songs or whatever? Sometimes I hear a song and I'd be like, okay, I want to write something that's similar to that. Or like I don't want to always be in the same genre. I want like I've been to plenty of concerts and shows where like after a while the band starts sounding the same and it gets boring. You know what I mean? And then you go see a band where it's like up, like, you know, every song is different and it goes from like, you know, you don't know what to expect sometimes. So
Yeah.
I wanted that kind of feel in my songs, you know? So I wanted to play like a song that sounds like creepy, a song that sounds like punk, a song that sounds like Spanish rock, a song that sounds like reggae, a song that sounds like, so I just, you know, try whatever chords people use for those songs. And I'm like, all right, let's see what I could do.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely like saw that in your Pleasureland like album for sure, the demo album. Like you guys are just jumping around so many genres, and I feel like that's like one of my favorite things like in a band is like you guys don't really box yourself into one genre. You guys are able to like just experiment in any genre that you want to. But was that kind of like challenging or like kind of easy to kind of put all those genres in like one album, or how are you guys able to like piece those songs together to put like in one package?
I don't know. I just feel it's like I was saying, it's just me trying to figure out how to do something in this style or that style. And then everybody else kind of like jumping along with their input, you know, like many of the demo album was just, I think it's just me on everything. And Mackenzie was engineering.
Yeah. The main idea for the demo album was to kind of turn the clock back to where Pablo started with his songwriting, to kind of have the songs in their most pure form, and how he started writing out the songs on his keyboard and then adding in the guitars. So it's all purely Pablo and his guitar and his keyboard. I wanted to keep it super simple because having the songs like that in a very dumbed down can be something a little special. Like you don't hear a lot of stuff like that nowadays. A lot of stuff was like inspired by like the Beatles and when they first started. So I wanted to kind of have a tribute to a lot of that older type stuff where it's just super simple. And so I had Pablo start off on keyboard, and it's just one or two takes unless he messed up a few times, but to just kind of keep it raw. And then I just threw some vintage filters over it basically to make it sound old. But the idea is just Pablo and how he had these songs originally when he was first writing them out. So Peligro, Once in Bed, Pleasureland are all ones that are on there. There's a couple other really good ones that we don't really even play live because the songs in their purest form exist in that very simple format. And it makes them really stick out when you listen to them in that way. So I'd recommend listening to the album in its entirety. Just sit down and just go on a ride. It's to Pleasureland. It's to a land where you experience things and how you overcome your fears, or you experience joy, happiness, all these different like emotions. And then eventually the plan is to take use those songs as kind of the baseline and expand upon them production wise, give a little bit more, and then we'll have pretty much everybody and build them up. And,
Yeah, show the before and after, so show how
Yeah.
simple the song was at first, but then when we go back in the studio and do it like the professional way
Yeah.
and get everybody on board and make it sound full, it'll sound a little bit different, but you can see where the idea came from.
Yeah. And so the whole project, it's like around 15 tracks,
13.
13. When it came to, how long did that take to put together, like realistically?
Too long.
Well, I mean, the recording part only took like a month or two. Right?
I mean, we did most of it over a few days.
That's what I'm saying.
I think a lot of it's just sitting on it.
It was having to mix and do all
just
that
trying to make sure that it
and then a
sits
lot of
well.
it too is just trying stuff too. Like that's what we started doing. Like right after that, we started doing kind of like a acoustic one, but it's just we were trying to like just different things in the studio just to see what worked and what didn't. And
The biggest
A lot of it
hurdle is
didn't.
just getting Pablo into the studio to record and kind of just headline the whole project and
Yeah.
kind of get everything sounding the way it sounds, because when you get through a session and then you listen back and it's like it's not quite fitting, that kind of kills the momentum a little bit. So you kind of have to take a break and like, okay, try it again at another day, and then maybe it'll come out better this time. So it's a lot of trial and error when it comes to recording and producing and arranging.
Yeah. How does that like, because I imagine, you know, with the video process, we've run into times where it's like, we have this idea. It could have been an episode of this podcast where it's like, oh, we had this idea and it's really not coming together. We're banging our head against the wall constantly, like this idea that we had that we thought was going to be cool. How do we get it to happen? Like, how do you guys get over like that process of like, we like this idea we have on paper, we know it'll translate well. Do you guys have those often, or is it just kind of like?
I mean, you have to set goals. I think that's like my thing. Like, or you get people excited or motivated. That's why I always like to play like a live show once or twice a month, because it keeps us motivated and on track to like keep going, or just like it gives us something to practice for too. You know, a lot of times. So it's like, okay, we want to sound good for this show. We got to get together and practice. So it gets us motivated to practice. It gets us motivated. Like when you have goals, like, okay, we did a photo shoot like last year. So like, okay, we're gonna do a photo shoot this day. Let's all meet up and do this. And it gets exciting because it's okay, we're doing stuff as a band. And that gets us to like, you know, I guess what gets a lot of people to join the collective, because it's like, okay, you guys are doing shit. We see how fun it is. And like, amazing, a lot of all these like people that we play with, they just want to play music. They just like the music. They're about the music, you know? So it's just nice when it all falls together and we have like a big turnout or a big group of people doing like, or has the same vision. When you have people who have the same vision, like things happen faster. You know what I mean? So I think it's just setting goals and making sure like sometimes you don't hit all the goals you want to do. I mean, like I think I had the music video idea like for this last year, but we didn't do it. But we did have like a photo shoot. We got a song on Spotify. We got a lot of cool gigs. We actually did a grand opening for the Tap Yard. We did an anniversary show for the Three Rivers Brewery. So like there's like some cool highlights that we have in our journey to keep everybody kind of motivated. So I feel like that's how you reach your goals a lot of times. Just if you have an idea, just keep going until you can get it, you know, get it out there. Just, you know, a lot of the time it's just like get up and do it, you know, just, but it's hard too, because it's a lot of people have their lives and there's people, you know, unavailable, they got work or things like that. So you just got to figure out when we can all do it together. And if you have something special, I think people will make the time. You know what I mean? Or they'll figure out how to get like that day off or things like that. Or if you plan it far ahead enough with enough time, you know, then everybody has like a good chance they'll make it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like that. So and getting the quality shows and trying to like, I mean, the motivator too, a lot of times is just, you know, getting paid for shows and trying to pay everybody out. And like a lot of fun is when we go busk, you know, like we did in Pismo, and people tip you. And like even at the Porch Fest, like his porch, we got a good amount of people hitting us up. So
You got a lot of tips.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun, like those are motivators. Like when you see people come and enjoy your music, you know, or like they crowd around and they're like, oh, you guys are good. And then they come up to you afterwards and they're like, you sound like this, or you sound like that, or I heard this from you. And then you're like, this is exactly what I'm going for. So it's like perfect. You know, so.
I noticed you mentioned like hosting kind of like photo shoots, that sort of thing. And I don't mean to call myself out, but I did stalk your Instagram a little bit. So I did see that you guys saw like or did like a photo shoot for your latest single too. But I wanted to see if there was anything like challenging as far as like putting that whole thing together. And I just kind of want to see like how that came to be too.
Yeah, that was actually Mackenzie who did the photo shoot for the Once in Bed. The girl that's on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's actually Nick's.
My girlfriend's sister.
No way.
So yeah, I had this idea for like what I wanted for that cover or for the song, you know, like that would be a good idea. Like this Once in Bed, I want, and then the point of it was like the dog's in bed with her, and the dog kind of represents like guys. You know what I mean? 'Cause guys are dogs, and they're like partying on the bed or whatever. So we had that idea, and then Mackenzie helped make it happen at his house and on his bed, and he, you know,
A lot of it was just kind of figuring out how to do it because that was the first time I did a photo shoot like that. So there was a pretty long period of time where it's like, okay, I have the idea, but how do we do it? A lot of it can be very challenging and you're overthinking it all the time. And then it's considering all the different options in the past that you could go, but ultimately it's just a matter of just sitting down and just doing it. And I think that's more important than coming up with the idea, because it's better to have something in your hand that you can see, like, okay, this is what I don't like about it. This is what we need to do different, versus just having the idea floating around.
yeah, it's kind of like that fake it till you make it kind of thing. You know? So just like you don't really know what you're doing, but you got to do it just so you figure out what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's that's the best way to learn, I think. You know, it's on hand. So.
I totally agree. I feel like I'm the same way too. Like I can't have an idea like marinate in my mind for too long because I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm wasting time if I don't just like get up and do it. So I feel like, well, it's kind of like how we started Setlist too, because I know you and Ben, they've had this idea for a while too. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it right now. And we're like, all right. So it's just like,
Yeah, you just got to do it. Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
you gotta do. You just got to get up and
That's
do
what
it.
I felt. I had a podcast actually too for a while back when I was in LA, and that was the same thing. It was like I had the idea for like a year or two, and then finally one day, like we found somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I film podcasts. Like I'll charge you $25 for each episode." I'm like, "What? All right, let's go."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then boom, we had a podcast.
Yep.
So
$25
it's just about doing it. It's like Nike, just do it.
That is a steal.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It really does feel like the pieces just kind of fall into place. Like Alexa mentioned, like me and Ben having this idea, and then it's like, oh, we want to do this. And Alexa literally just being like, well, so why don't you? And it's like,
No, right?
right. I guess you're right. I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah, especially when you have like something like this at your hands, man. It's like it's crazy. You're so nice.
Yeah. No, we are very fortunate to have, this accessible space. When it comes to like you guys doing your photo shoot and putting everything together into that package, do you find it rewarding to like be so involved in every aspect of the process? Or if it were up to you, it's like, are there any things about it that you're like, I would rather just hand this off to someone else?
I mean, like recording sometimes. Just kidding. But I think like a lot of it's fun. So if you can keep it fun, like if the photo shoot was fun, I think it wasn't really like we had like anything like I don't know, it was a like bad thing for it, or like anything annoying that really happened. I think it was a fun thing. It's just
It ran smoothly. It was
like it's just like when you have an idea, you kind of already know what you want to do. So like we found spots. I already had spots that I kind of had in mind that I wanted to go take pictures at. You know what I mean? So it's just mainly finding someone that could take pictures for us. I gave her $50, and I was like, "Here, follow us around downtown Visalia and just take pictures of us." Like we'll find spots to like mess around at.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of it came together. Like we were just walking around, like, "Oh, that's a good spot for a picture," or "Let's try this," or "This is a good pose," or you know what I mean? So
You mentioned in the live stream too that most of you guys are from Visalia, or like Visalia to Larry, correct?
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it kind of it's kind of easy for you guys to come together and rehearse, is there? Or is there like
yeah.
kind
We
of some
practiced at
challenges?
Mackenzie's house.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
practiced in Visalia.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys all from or like born and raised Visalia? Some of you, or
I was
Central
born
Valley?
in Long Beach and I moved up here.
Oh, really?
Where are you from? He's from Argentina.
Yeah, I was born in Argentina,
Really?
and I came when I was like 2 years old.
Oh wow.
But so I grew up here. Yeah, I grew up like actually when we first moved out here, we moved to Frisco, and I only lived there for like 6 months or something. So I technically grew up in Southgate in LA when we first moved out there, and then moved to Downey, and then started floating around like Long Beach and all those areas, and then eventually came out here. But I've only been in the Central Valley like 5 years. I came right before COVID. That's what's crazy. I moved out here March of 2020, and it was like a week before the lockdown. Like I moved out here, and then it was like lockdown.
Oh my god.
So,
No.
and then when I met Nick through that drummer that we were talking about earlier, me and him, it's crazy too how that happened, because I put out I answered a Craigslist ad. This girl was trying to start a country band, and she needed a keyboard player, so I went there to try it out. But I wasn't really into country and this and that. And the drummer, he was kind of like learning, like he wasn't in the country either, but he just wanted to get out, because it's like during COVID, so like people are trying stuff to just get out of the house.
Yeah.
So we started playing with her, and then we didn't really fit the vibe, And so we're like, hey, how about me and you just started jamming? He actually hit me. So you want to come jam in my garage? He's all, I'm down to just have you come over and hang out. I was like, all right. So then he put an ad and found Nick, and Nick answered the ad, and then he came down, and then we started playing with him for a while, for like, I don't know, like 6 months maybe, or more than that. I don't know.
Yeah, a couple months. Yeah.
And that kind of form, but then he like came up with the name, like I was saying, and then he fell off, and then I thought that was it for a minute. I was like, okay, that's it. Nick kind of came in through the drummer, so I figured Nick's not gonna keep going if this guy left the band or whatever. And then Nick hits me up. He's like, hey, I found a drummer on this ad, and it was Mackenzie.
Yeah, it was through Vamper.
I forget. I don't know what the app was or the ad.
Yeah.
What was it?
Vamper.
Vamper.
It's
Yeah.
a fine musician app.
Oh, cool.
And then this was crazy too, which is funny, because I had met Mackenzie and Beto too at a Bar Armageddon. They were doing an open mic like a year before I started jamming with Mackenzie at his house. So I had met them like that was the last open mic at Bar Armageddon, because they were closing, and I was always working Mondays, but I was like, I have to come to this last one because I've been wanting to come, and so I was like, I made time to go out there. And then I saw them and I met them, but I just like, it's like meeting them. I didn't really know them. I was like acquaintance kind of deal. And then fast forward, it's Mackenzie that's answered the ad, through Nick. And so we started jamming with him. And then like we started trying out like 3 or 4 different guitar players that didn't fit. We had a saxophone player for a little minute. But like they were just kind of all over the place. So we're like, because I like a lot of it is jammy, but a lot of it has to be structured. It has to sound good. You know what I mean? So then like I didn't work out with them, and then Mackenzie's like, oh, I know this guy. I got to, I'll bring him in. And it was Beto. So he brought Beto in, and then we're like, oh, okay, cool. This guy fits perfect, And it's funny because at the first month that Beto joined the band, he was like, I don't know if I'm fitting in this band. I think I'm just going to call it, like, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of weird too, because the vibe was kind of weird at first too. We're kind of just all getting to know each other. And then like I would do a group chat, no one would reply, things like that. So he's like, I don't know about this vibe, man. But a lot of it was because I would talk to them like one-on-one instead of like through the group chat sometimes too. So it was a group chat, but he felt like, hey, no one's answering through the group chat. What's going on? Like, I don't feel the vibe. I don't think I'm going to last.
Well, I had just come from another band too, so I think, and it was different. We were all like we would hit each other up and hang out a lot, and it was just different energy. But then this turned into that too. So,
but that's what's funny too, because it's like he's like, nah, man, I don't know. I'm all, bro, give me a month. Just give me a month, dude. I'm all, because you sound good. I like what you're doing in my songs. Well, just give me a month, and I'll show you that I have stuff lined up. You know what I mean? And then we played like a Halloween show, and then we played something else, and then he's like, all right, you do have stuff lined up, and then we just kept playing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it turned on this huge group. We met this band called Jerry's Briefcase. That's where Wayne came from, because Wayne was playing with that band, and then he saw us play after them, and he's like, hey. And then the next show we played together with them, he's like, hey, can I jump on your set? And we're like, yeah, go for it. It sounds, see what you can do. And it was kind of just, okay, vibe with the set.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, now Wayne's playing every show with us, and then the guy Tony Bongos, we played with the little beer ties on a porch one time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, do you mind if I stay on to play congos? And we're like, no, go for it, man. And then he pretty much part of all the bands now.
it was actually the opposite. Sebastian asked him
Yeah, Sebastian
asked him to play for his band, and then he played for Fugas.
And then he played for your band.
Yeah.
And then on the next show, he asked if he could jump on my set. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, go for it, man.
Wow.
He's always down to play, man.
He's always down. He's like, yeah, just whenever you can make it. You know, sometimes it's just like I said, the conflict.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
But yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome vibes too. Like all the people in the collective, everybody we play music with, everybody we met, you know, they're awesome people. They're really talented musicians. So it's a lot of fun to play with these guys. You know.
Yeah.
Like you guys have to really thank Craigslist and Vampire for bringing you guys together for sure.
Right.
Like it's crazy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird how things happen because, like I said, for a second there, I thought, okay, it's done. Like when I was playing with Nick and another dude, and I was like, it's probably not gonna go nowhere. And then, like little by little, like we started having people coming in and out, and then all of a sudden, when Beto joined the band, it was like solid. And then all these other people started seeing it, and they're like, okay, let's start playing shows together. And then everybody's just kind of mingling with each other's bands. So now it's like
Just networking.
a whole crazy group.
Created all these bands. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys all going to be at the you mentioned the Toys for Tots show that you guys are doing? Will you all be there?
The collective or just Chemical Syndicate? Well, Chemical Syndicate, I think it might just.
They're all going to be there.
I think it's just us three actually.
I mean, actually,
I'm not sure if Wayne or Tony are going to go that one.
Is anyone else with the collective show?
But it's also no, I don't know. I don't think so. It's mainly like a punk kind of show.
Yeah.
Like the vibe at the Exeter House show is more like that kind of like heavier stuff. So we'll probably play like a heavier set, you know, like more like the punk stuff that we have or like the alternative rock.
Paris on Fire and Misfortunate.
Huh?
It'll be Paris on Fire and Misfortunate.
Yeah, and Carry On Radio. There's like 4 or 5 bands. There's Bipolar Arte, which is a band that I actually know from LA, which is funny. But he goes all over the place. He tours all over everywhere. He wears like a straight jacket when he plays, and it's just him by himself. He has like a loop machine. But
That's fire.
it's funny because I played with him in a different band that I was in LA at some other place, and then like he happens to be playing at this house show, and I'm like, crazy dude. Like years later, I'm gonna run into this guy.
But
But
a date for that show?
huh?
Do you guys have a date for that upcoming show?
The 13th, this Saturday coming up at 5:30.
Okay.
It's in Exeter. Yeah, Paris on Fire is playing, Caravan Radio. There's a couple other bands I forget exactly because they're Bipolar Art, they're us. And I think like 2 or 3 more bands. But it's cool. It's a good event. It's like Toys for Tots, so they're raising donations, you know, for toys for like unfortunate kids. And then it should be a fun show. But like I said, that's only gonna be probably us 3, I think. But it should be fun. It's gonna be like a half-hour set. And the house show is always a good vibe.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever know about Paris on Fire or any of those?
I personally, no. Do you?
Kind of. I've heard of them before, but I haven't like had the chance to check them out yet, like in live.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They play Fresno all the time. I think they just played the Holland Wolf,
I'm not sure.
something like that.
So we are coming up at near the end of the show, but I want to give the opportunity. We already promoted, I talked about that show, but are there any upcoming projects or shows that you guys are working on or excited about that you want to promote, either for Chemical Syndicate or any of your other projects that you're working on that you would like to promote right now?
Well, I'm going to be releasing a single pretty soon here with my band, our band. We just finished the art and the mixing, so that's kind of where we're at. He's just got to master it, and then probably, within the next couple months, maybe like January, February, I'm thinking. If not by maybe the end of December.
Yeah.
Just depends on, how long that takes. And then he just released his, the demos,
demo.
so definitely check that out too.
And then we're probably gonna release another song probably at the end of February. We'll have another one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
And then we got like a couple other shows coming
Anything
up
else?
too.
But yeah, where can we find you guys on socials?
We got a Facebook page. Instagram's like the best, I think. That's usually where we post most of the stuff. And then, like I said, we got song on Spotify, YouTube. It's got a lot of shows on there, especially through Wayne. A lot of the collectives on there for sure. And then that's the Art Collective, Aquarian Rock Circus. And then we have what was the other one? Apple Music. Did I say that one already?
It's like all the streaming platforms.
Yeah, all the streaming
So,
platforms.
yeah. But yeah, that's it. Right?
Well, and you guys said you're working on a music video. Do you guys have a YouTube page as well?
If we were to release one, I think it'd be on his his page there. But I don't know if you want to promote that.
My
Go mentions.
no, it's Scrumptious Jazz. That's YouTube and Instagram. That way, it's just consistent, so it's not different things. I'm just gonna go with Scrumptious Jazz at this point. As far as like my producer and artist type stuff, I have videos of some of the same shows as Wayne's. So I have a little higher quality camera is all. But I have my own little playlist of songs that I've written, and then some of our live shows. And yeah, I imagine when we upload any music video type stuff, it'll be there. And then all my other bands would be there as well, and then my connections to other artists that I'm recording on Instagram and stuff I'm promoting. I know I want to get a Christmas EP out with No Voodoo. I'm just finishing up the mixes for that, and then we're gonna go to downtown Visalia. I got some. The EP is going to be called Angels Sing. It's kind of a reggae roots type vibe. And John Glaspie, he literally did everything. He played drums, bass, guitar, sings, all of that stuff. He's probably the easiest that I've had to record. He has one song out already that I produced that's Don't Reach for the Stars. And then I also helped him with the cover art for that for a photo shoot. And then, so yeah, it's going to be a 3-song EP, kind of lovey-dovey type songs, and I that should be out by Christmas. That's the goal. The Fugazi song should be out within the next week or so.
No, I don't think I'm good. You want to do that quick?
Why would we not?
Because I still think there's some stuff that I gotta.
You gotta tell
Go
about
to
you.
his house and we're gonna sit there and like finalize the actual mix.
Yeah.
So it should be out by next week or two.
There's no reason to wait. It's waited long enough.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much again for coming out for Artist IRL and Mic Check. I know you guys were out here for like a couple hours now. Hopefully it didn't feel too long, but yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is our fifth episode, yeah, of Artist IRL. This is also the last one of the year too, as well as our Mic Check. But we will be picking things back up for next year soon. So keep an eye out for dates for that. We'll have all of our socials laid out in the description below. But yeah, if you guys have any, if you guys are in a band or know someone that is also in a band, you can also go to setlistmedia.com. We'll have our form there to, just have you out for the show, have you out for Mic Check or Artist IRL, anything like that. Feel free to fill out that form. But yeah, feel free to follow all of our socials. We'll have them in the description. But yeah, we'll see you guys next year. Yep. See you guys. Bye.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Super fun.
That was a wrap.
I feel like I was more anxious for this portion of it.